Hi, it's Alana Baroni, your GetSocialEHow.com expert, and I'm here to show you how to personalize a restaurant table place setting. The first thing you want to do is give your guests some little flair to put on, something, to wear. For ladies, maybe a flower in their hair. The easiest one to do is a gardenia. You just order them from your florist. You can order them online or go to your florist and pick them up. Grab very big bobby pins from the beauty supply. Put them on the stem of the gardenia. Attach them. This is like a little perfume bottle that I found that goes with the decor of the table. Attach them to that, and voila! You have a flower pin for your female guest's hair. You put that at each woman's place setting. Now for the guys, you don't want to leave them out. You want to give them a little boutonniere as well. I'm going to show you how to make these boutonniere lapel pins that they can pin an orchid to their lapel. Have a little flair themselves. This is what it ends up looking like. So you start with these boutonniere pins, plain. You can get them at jewelry supply stores on or offline. Add a little bit of glue and a jewel. I picked these cameo black and white silhouettes because they go with the decor of the party. Add that directly onto the boutonniere pin. Let it dry. Pick an orchid. I use orchids for boutonnieres because they last a really long time. Now for the presentation for the table, you just take the boutonniere pin, stick it through the orchid. I used a similar perfume bottle for the men's, and there you go. You have two pieces of flair for your guests to wear at the table. Now that you've given your guests a little bit of flair, you want to give them something to do when they actually sit down. So I'm going to show you a quick little interactive place card that's super simple to put together. So this is the napkin of the place setting where everybody is sitting. And I'm going to make a card that ends up looking like this. It's all made from your printer at home. You start with blank paper and add an icon at the top, something that appeals to you, something that goes with the vibe of the party. I picked a griffin because that's what's going with my party. And then what you want to do is think of some snappy, clever text, like use the phrases below to tell a story about yourself. And then you give some phrases to help start them off, like way back when, ... So I'm standing in line at the local Starbucks, and then they add to the story. And everybody around the table has to tell a story based on the phrases that are on their cards. So once you've printed those out and cut them to the size that you want, you do the same thing with black construction paper. You just make it a little bit wider and trim the edges with some wave-shaped scissors found at a craft store. Then you use a little bit of mounting tape. They have these great little gadgets that put the mounting tape on there, that you use them for photos, for memory booking, for scrapbooking. Take the back side of the card that you printed, put a little bit of the mounting tape on. So you've got a little sticky surface. Attach it to the cardstock. Put it on your napkin. It's nice decor, and it also has a great purpose. It keeps your guests interacting. And if you have a little videotape for extra credit, I guarantee there'll be a few good stories. And you are done. You have an interactive storytelling activity for around the table. Okay, so your guests have flair, and now they have something to do at the table by telling a really funny story. Now it's time to get on to what New Year's is all about. Champagne and resolutions. Now, I like the idea of using the champagne glass as the party favor. So find a special glass. I'm using these black ones. The idea is for guests to use them throughout the night, and it becomes their party favor. So you've done double duty. You've got great decor, great interaction, and a party favor. Now, the way for guests to keep their champagne glasses straight, like who's who, is to tie a sample resolution to the bottom of the glass. Now, to make this is super simple. You want to start with a little black cardstock, cut it in about 2.5 inch square shape. You can trim it up with scissors found in a craft store. Then print the resolutions on white cardstock and cut them a little bit smaller than the cardstock, the black cardstock squares, maybe 2 inches by 2 inches square. Use the sticky mounty tape again that you use for scrapbooking. Sticky mounty tape is an official term. and mount that onto the cardstock. Now, you can laminate these or not, depending on, your time and inclination. You punch a hole in the side. This one's laminated and it has a hole punched. And then you just want to string a little bit of ribbon through it and tie it onto the champagne glass. Now, you can find samples of the clever resolutions that I've used within the eHow, or you can make up your own. Now, the resolutions tied to the glass also helps guests keep track of which glass is theirs, because hopefully they'll be keeping them throughout the whole evening and sipping champagne. Now, the resolutions that you're going to use don't have to be the serious ones. People can make serious resolutions on their own, so these are kind of funny. Like mine says, I resolved to learn cuss words in different languages. That's a good one, right? So your guests have plenty to do at the party. They're drinking, they've got flair, they're telling a story. As a host, you've done your job. I hope you enjoyed this eHow. Thank you so much for joining me. To find out more information about New Year's Eve entertaining, you can log on to getsocial.com. Thanks a lot.